Hi, Stitchers.
Hi, I'm Keisha.
I'm Laura. Welcome to the Pattern Queens, episode 111. Today is Sunday. What month are we in? January 15th. I started to say August for some reason.
Oh gosh.
And this is a channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and rambles and lots of shenanigans and time travel.
I don't know what's up with that. I think we've been talking about lots of dates, Katie and I, figuring out information for upcoming boxes and retreats and all the good stuff. Right. And yeah, I just have no concept of current time right now. So if you are new to our channel, welcome. And this is what you can expect most of the time. If you're returning friend, thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate it. We know that you guys have lots of choices out there to watch, and we really appreciate that you choose to spend your time with us.
I know, you're just great. We love you. You're our people if you're here.
So what's up with you this week?
Not a whole lot. We went to a stitch day yesterday, me, you, and Katie Landis, and but it got cut short because my husband has had a pretty bad cold. So luckily, it seems like I've been spared. James has a little bit of a cough, but not too much of one. So I think we're okay. And he seems to be on the mend. But that's pretty much all that's been going on in our house right now. The boys are getting ready to go on a shopping trip. And so I'm hearing my son go, I put on my socks, I put on my shoes, I put on my coat. We're going shopping. He's 2.5. He officially was 2.5 yesterday. So I congratulated my husband on helping to keep a small person alive for 2.5 years.
That is quite the accomplishment, right?
Yes, despite James's best efforts.
And next year, you're going to get an extra day in the year. So,
oh man. Oof, oof. Well, we'll see if we can handle it. What's new with you?
Not a whole lot this week. We've just been working away and trying to plot and plan and take care of some things, and that's pretty much it. I'm at work full time. I've had a fun time with kids this week, and yeah.
Good. Same old, same old. Sometimes
yes.
Same old is good.
Yes. So, do you want to jump into it?
Yes, let's do it.
You want to start with finishes or stash?
Well, I want to see your finish. So
okay, so I have a current finish. This is my second finish for the year. It's Baltimore Salt Box Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And mine is on a piece of blue fabric from the shop that was just, I mean, here's the whole piece. It was just a scrap that they had. But there's my piece.
So pretty.
Thank you. I really like it. And okay, so I think you can tell up close that that's really orangey, but it does not look like it.
No.
When you are back looking at it. I mean, I think the flowers skew kind of orange, but I feel like these look more red.
So. Yeah, no, I'd say that was red.
Interesting how things turn out, but it was great. I was filling in this flag yesterday at Stitch Day, and that was perfect fill in for Stitch Day because, I didn't even need my pattern.
Right. That's always good.
And when Keisha shows you hers, she'll tell you the same thing. She didn't even need her pattern after a while. And this one I have had, I don't know why I'm so carefully shoving it back in here, but this one I have had in this sleeve because that orange just made me think about it. And all the moths. Oh, I love this. I love this. So I will have to get a project back in this right away.
For sure.
And then Katie had to stop to pick something up at the cross stitch shop, and while we were there, they told her that they had our framing ready. I don't know, I was trying to get my flashlight to help a little there, but Katie picked up Turkey Bay by Plum Street, and I can't ever think of the fabric that it's on.
It's Witch's Brew from Mystic Fabrics.
Thank you. See, Keisha's always got my back. And
That's because it's beautiful and I wanted to know so I could buy some immediately.
and mine that I picked up, I showed my husband this morning and he said, I don't remember you stitching that. And I said, well, that's because when I stitched it, Katie was very little.
Mhm.
So I finally had framed an old finish, which is the Irish Blessing sampler. I don't even remember who this is by, and I tried an image search and couldn't come up with it. But it's old enough that this band I remember very vividly. I worked on this at a retreat, and this band is done in Forest Glade, which was a new color at that time. And it's one of my favorite greens, but I really like use some sparkle to do the harp up there. And just I like all the knot work. You do there's a little bit of black work and knot work. So
That's pretty. I love that.
and I should have said that Baltimore Salt Box was my second finish for the year, and it's number 25 in my 59 before 60.
Nice. You're
So
moving right along.
I figured that I need to have finished 40 projects by the end of February, which means I should be finishing something like every 2.5 days. We'll see where
That'll be
things
fine.
go.
It's good to have a goal.
We're all fine here. Everything's
That's
fine.
right. Everything's good.
So, do you have any finishes this week? I didn't ask
I
you
don't
that.
have any finishes this week.
Okay, let's pop into stash then.
All right. Well, I got some good stash. I got a couple of things at our Thursday night stitch night from Laura and Katie. The first thing I got was spring fobs from Heart and Hand, and it's got a bunny on it. So you know who it came from. It came from Laura. And I'm really excited to stitch those. I really like this little basket here with the flowers in it. So I will definitely have to work on this.
I have that folio also,
Mhm.
and I stitched that little basket fob, but I
Yeah.
haven't finished it. And I think I even stitched that carrot. I haven't done the needle roll yet.
Oh, okay.
But those are fun stitches.
Yeah. Well, it's just and I don't really have a whole lot of fun springtime things. So I don't have a whole lot of rabbits. So one of the first rabbits I stitched should be from Laura Landis. It's And then also from Laura, I got this piece of 46 count overcast linen. And it's
Because where was my brain?
it's just this teeny tiny piece. And she said, do you think you'd stitch on it? I was like, well, I'll give it a go. I've never stitched on 46 count, but I can see the holes pretty well. I'm excited to put something teeny tiny on there. That'll be fun.
I figured you would have way more patience than I would with that.
I do like I like experimenting with smaller counts, but yeah, the smallest I've done is 40 count, so I'm excited to give that a go.
Okay, and looking at that one, I really didn't feel like it looked that much smaller than 40 count. And I think it's just because it's a Zweigart linen. It had the orange, but it just looks like such a good linen that the holes are really pretty easily visible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think once I get it on a hoop even, it's going to stretch it that much more and it'll be pretty easy to see. And then from Katie Landis, I got this from Heartstring Samplery. It's Scary Sampler. And she was trying to get me to kit it up yesterday. Joking. I was like, no, I have to finish a couple more things before I can do that. But this is the one that has all kinds of references to different fandoms, and I'm excited to get in there and stitch Not a Moon. You see that little Death Star up there? It cracks me up. So I'm really excited to work on this. And then I got one more piece of past stash from Katie, something that she wants to restart on a higher count fabric. But look at how pretty this is. So I'm excited to get in there and work on it. We'll have to see if I can make it work because Katie crosses her. I have the pattern for this. she crosses her X's differently than I do. So we'll see if I can make it work.
So I suggested Keisha could turn her pattern sideways, but that's the bloom under the winter snow, something like that, from the blue flower from the Niceless box 2 years
A
ago.
couple years ago. Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful piece.
Yes. Oh, for sure. And I really like that fabric a lot. So that means I have, because I've gotten all of the Niceless boxes. So I have that piece of fabric. So I can use it for something else.
And all the floss. That's what's
Yes.
fabulous,
Yes.
right?
So it's perfect. I can just pick it up and go. So
we always like that.
for sure. Well, that's all of the stash that I have this time.
Katie and I recently visited a new to us cross stitch shop, and I'm still not going to name it because but because it has to be a secret for a little bit longer. But I picked up some fun stuff while I was there, some fun charts. They had some clearance charts. I picked up a Sam Sarah. I don't think I've shown you that one. And I don't have those right here by me, but I did find a whole set of the milk paint, milk, the bottle caps. So they're just, it's 50 and they had one set left. They're just so fun. And they're to be thread drops, obviously, but 50.
I love those. I love any like old advertisement or product things. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, look at this one, like milk.
Nice.
So I am looking forward to using these. Now, I think what I'll probably do is use maybe a little sticker to put on the back and pull that out, or washi tape would probably be really good.
Right.
So because it would come off easier when I was finished, and then I can reuse them. So that would be fun.
Those are so cool.
Yeah, I love them. And it feels like something that's very me. I was really excited when she said, well, I have one more set.
Yeah. That's super fun. I wouldn't have thought about that. That's really a cool idea.
Yeah. And that's really all that I think I have. Some weeks are like that.
Yeah. Hey, can't go to buy a whole bunch of stuff and you got framing, which was finish and stash all in one, right?
Yes. Yes. So I did get stashed this week because I got my January box.
Ah, yes. Yes, I did too, but
we'll wait.
I haven't even shared it with James yet. He asked about the box, but then he got distracted by something else. So
and I know that you're always worried that you're not going to get to keep the needle minder and the floss, which comes in every box. So that's no spoiler.
Yeah. No, that is a real worry. And there are a couple of other things in this box where I'm like, one thing my husband was already like, oh yeah, so that's James's. And I'm like, no.
We're going to have to figure out what we can send home for James so that you get to keep your things, right?
It's okay. He'll take that and then he'll just take the other things that he wants to.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think we are up to whips.
All right. Well, I worked on some exciting things that I haven't worked on in a while, and I also have a new start in here. So the first thing I worked on is ABCDinosaurs by the Clouds Factory. This was a SAL last year. I'm pretty far behind on the SAL because it's done and I'm not finished with the thing. But this is what the entire pattern looks like.
You're almost halfway though, right?
Oh, I'm into July. I'm into July. So this is on
halfway.
Yeah. So this is on a piece of Arctic fox linen from, oh my gosh, Fiber on a Whim. I only stitched on
I don't know this one. I don't know this one.
So here's the whole thing all together.
This is such a bright, happy piece. I just love it.
I really love it. And it's all DMC, and I've stitched it as called for, except the names of the dinosaurs. I've been messing around with those because this is a lot lighter fabric than what's called for. And it was charted to be stitched in white. The names are back stitched in white, and it doesn't show up. So what I worked on this time is I finished this dinosaur and I stitched this one, and I started on another one. And the funny thing
Woohoo.
about this one is it's a, okay, I don't know the names of dinosaurs. It's a Microceratus is the name of this dinosaur. So it's supposed to be really little, right? I added one extra column of stitches in there, so he's not as micro as he should be. And that was cracking me up whenever I did it. I was doing things because I had finished him up. So I'm stitching it on Pattern Keeper and I had just marked things off. And then I was going to put in this M above him. It's like, why is that not working? So I kind of counted around. It's not going to make any difference to anything else. But I was like, oh, I added like 3 extra stitches to him. The next thing I worked on was a new start for me this week. So I'm part of the group Fandom Stitching Central on Facebook, and they're doing The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings this year. We're watching through all of those, reading the books and everything. And I watched the 1977 animated version of The Hobbit, and I thought that, well, I would stitch on something Tolkien related while I do that. So I stitched on Not All Those Who Wander from Stitchrovia. You can buy this in her Etsy shop. And I guess this fabric is a piece of stash. This is a piece of 28 count vintage Smokey White.
Mm.
And here's where I got on it.
Oh, that color looks pretty on there.
I really like it. So that's, of course, the middle wander. I just started in the middle of it. This piece will be big enough, but it's only just wide enough for it with a margin. So I just started in the center.
Okay, and with you holding it up like that with nothing behind it, we're really getting what the vintage Smoky White looks like. So you want to explain what it is? Do you know all about it?
Oh, I guess. Well, I guess I don't. I know that it's white with like some splotches in it
It's a printed
gray.
fabric.
Oh, it is.
So it's printed on the front, and the back is just white.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Anything that is those vintage, you can tell when you're looking at it there, that looks very white. And then when you turn it around, you get to see the grays in it.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. Glad I picked the right side. That would have been embarrassing.
You must have looked at it and gone, nah, this one looks better.
This one looks better. I think you're getting more of the smoky on this side.
They put the sticker on the front side,
yeah,
so
right.
that helps.
So, but anyway, so that's where I got on that. And I think this one's going to stitch up really quickly. We're supposed to watch the movies and also either read or listen to the audiobooks. I'm going to listen to the audiobooks while I stitch. So whenever I'm listening to The Hobbit this month, I'm going to stitch on that too. So I kind of have a piece that, I've done while I've.
That's so fun. It's harder to see with your vintage Smoky White, but a lot of people stitch on the, what am I trying to think? The vintage
Country Mocha.
There you go. The vintage country mocha. And it's really obvious with that because it's a little darker. It's the browns, and you can tell that one side is just the fabric and the other side has been printed. So
then the next thing I worked on, this one's very exciting and I haven't pulled it out for a long time. I worked on Abra Lowney 1825 from Erica Michaels.
Oh, such a pretty piece.
I love this piece, and I'm using kind of a custom color conversion. This is on a piece of 28 count dirty from Zweigart. Here's the whole thing.
Ooh.
So I pretty well got the top all done. There is a border that goes all the way around it, but I've been following the instructions pretty carefully on this one, and it said to do that border last. So I'm working my way down, and where I've been working this week is in the over one lettering there. So I think I had the word both, but I put in everything after both.
So the top border that you have, is that the border that goes all the way around, or is there another border too?
So there's kind of a sawtooth border that goes around.
I see it now. Okay.
So right now, so I have the rest of the over one wording to do. I have another basket to stitch, and then what is only described as free form stitching uh, for the flowers and the tree. I mean, some of the tree and the flowers are charted, but some of it is just like, here's, look at this diagram and see if you can do it.
Just go.
Right. And then, of course, the name down there, some Bargello bands, and then the sawtooth border around. So I still have a lot of work left to do, but it's definitely, getting
You are moving.
So I really like this. Erica Michaels also has a set of Abra Smalls that are based on this, and I would really like to buy those, but I'm going to wait until after I finish this.
Or are you? Because, you said there was a berry, right?
That's true. That's true. And we do have some friends who are doing a berry stitch along, but I've told
For
myself
February.
for February, but I've told myself I can't start the smalls until I finish the big, is what I've told myself. And since this has so much complicated stitching, and right now I'm in over one and I'm not always in the mood for that, I'm trying not to rush it too much, because I feel like if I rush it, then I'm going to mess up and just not enjoy it as much. And then, oh boy, guys, the last thing I worked on is Death by Cross Stitch from Long Dog Samplers. This, I definitely know the fabric on, is on a piece of 36 count agave.
The fabric that we all love and want more of.
Man, it's such a good one. So here's the whole thing right now. This is the left and this is the right. I'm all the way across.
Wow.
I've put like 1,000 stitches in on this in the past couple of days. So I finished this big motif here, and you can't really see it in my lighting too much. If I hold it back, you see how there's kind of a white in there. It's actually ecru. That's all back stitching.
Wow.
And then I put in, we were laughing about how we didn't need a pattern. I put in this whole like bottom line across the bottom. So I didn't need the pattern for that. I did that at Stitch Day. And then I did this bird, the fish, and the little squares around it, and this crown with the heart and those backstitch birds. So I really worked on this time.
You have really been killing it with that one.
So there is a monthly challenge in the challenge group that's to do 1,937 stitches on something, because that's the year The Hobbit came out. And I've still got 900 stitches or so to do, but I think I'm going to hit that this month. I've really been pushing pretty hard. So
you've done really awesome with it.
Thank you. So I'm loving it, and I want to work on it some more today, but I'll probably work more on Abra today. And those are all of the whips I have.
Well, we are a little backwards this time because I have one whip. Since I had that finish, I pulled out one of my and that was supposed to be a February project, but I just was really, really wanting to stitch it. So I thought this year I can do that, and I just pulled it out.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah. So I am working on Winter Chalkboard by Hands On Designs. This one you can get from Herrschner's, and I have a PDF of it. So, and I told Keisha last night, oh, my goal is to get to like 50%. Well, this is a small project. So I got to 61.28. And this is what it looks like. So I filled in this line under hats and the hat. I had to do the M on mittens, and I did the word scarves last night.
Wow.
That's what kept me up so late, is that I was trying to finish the word scarves.
Yeah.
And I'm doing like the snowflakes and the word snow are in a toile instead of white.
Fun.
And I'll do that with a few of the other things. I just have to decide what, I know the snowflakes for sure. Probably the word snow and let it snow. But I'll have to decide if, I feel like maybe the snowballs would be too much. It would make too much étoile in there.
Yeah.
So, but it's been fun. And I have, I just did the math and I have 1,777 stitches left to go. So if I would have a couple of really prolific days, it could be done.
Right. Right.
That would be crazy. And
You've done crazier.
Yeah. This one is in a bag from Needle Bling Designs. And she took some, I think you can see it when I do this. She took a couple of placemats to do this.
Oh.
So that's one, the outside, which flips over. And then the inside that she sewed to it, this is part of it, and it makes a pocket. So you have a little pocket and a big pocket.
Oh, what a fun idea.
And I don't know if she put the trim on it or if it, I'm thinking it came with the trim on it, but very, very cute idea.
Yes, cool.
There, since I only had one whip, you really got to see my project bag up close.
I think that's a cool idea because they put out so many cool seasonal placemats. That's a fun idea.
Yes. And that had to be a cloth one. It doesn't have any of the vinyl-y fabric on it. So it's very cute.
Yes.
And I think I could even do that. So that's it for whips, which brings us to plans.
Well, they've released the weekly stitching prompts in the group, and it looks like I'm probably going to be working on Halloween wreath from Frosted Pumpkin because one of the prompts is to stitch on something with a moon. And I was like, I don't have anything with a moon, except for there's a great big moon on the bow for Halloween wreath. I just haven't gotten to that part yet. So I'll probably stitch on that. I'll stitch more on Not All Those Who Wonder because I'm going to listen to some of the book of The Hobbit this week, and I need to stitch more on Abra because that's for this week's prompts. And I just want to put Death by Cross Stitch back in my hoop and keep working on it. So
that's such a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. So probably a lot of the same for next week as this week. So
I think it's fun with the long dogs. Don't be intimidated by those because they're made up of a bunch of little things. Right. And we had a discussion about it yesterday at our stitch day. We had someone saying that they were afraid to have to choose the floss to go and stitch. And Keisha's basically using one color and then is just using touches of the other two. And mine is a pretty basic fabric. And then I have a beautiful overdyed silk from Silks for You. And at first I really worried about, I have to make sure that when I have mine cut in pieces, it's a purple. There's a red purple at one end and a blue purple at the other end. And I worried about, I have to make sure that I get the blues in the same place. And no, you don't. You just start stitching and you go. And it's really interesting. Sometimes I do horizontal stripes. Sometimes I do vertical stripes. Sometimes I go around, I vary my pattern so that it'll just be interesting, but it all comes out so cool.
Right. Well, and if you're a person who just likes one color, just do it in one color. I've seen Death by Cross Stitch stitched in one color and it is beautiful. So don't let things intimidate you.
I think one of our friends there said that they had a really pretty overdyed fabric, or were you saying you had seen somebody with overdyed fabric?
It was our friend, the other Laura, who said that she picked just a gorgeous fabric and then just stitched in 310. And so it really let the fabric kind of speak through all of the stitching, which I think is also a good idea.
Yes. Yes. Such a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's fun because the long dogs and other samplers like it really just let you be creative. And mine, someone asked me how I was figuring my my path out with my colors. And I was like, well, I have a main color. I have a color that I do all the hearts in, I decided. And then the rest is just what feels right. So if I'm like, oh, that's a lot of blue, I want something to break it up, I'll put the ecru in there. So there's no
I,
rules.
I was looking and I have 4 or 5 projects left for this month's whips. And,
Mhm.
I'm not pushing myself to get through everything. I kind of grouped them so that I would know what I still had.
Right.
But one of them was my new start for the year, Hive Rules. And I
Mhm.
would really like to get back to that and put some more in. I feel like working on winter chalkboard is sometimes difficult because it's such a dark project. So
Right.
if I have a very light one to go with it, that'll be a nice balance. But
Yeah.
I was sitting under the light last night, really working on seeing all those holes. So,
Yeah.
but my goal is really to just stitch.
That's a good goal. Sometimes that's the only goal you need.
And tomorrow is a federal holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which make sure that you take some time to think about what Dr. King stood for and what he believed in and what he did, and then enjoy your day too and get some extra rest if you're able to. I think we're going to the office to work.
I think, well, the weather is supposed to be beautiful here tomorrow, so James is out of daycare. I'm off of work. We may go for a bike ride around the neighborhood. And by a bike ride around the neighborhood, I mean I'm going to push him on a bike up a really big hill because his tricycle has a handle where I can steer it and push it. So that might be what we do. I'll go get my exercise, and he'll have the time of his life. Probably not pedaling.
You could always put the bike in the car and drive down around to the park and go
Oh,
there.
that's true. I could do that as well. So
Then he could pedal.
there we go. He can do the work. I'll just walk behind him.
So, but I think that's about it. Have we rambled long enough?
Oh, yes, and we had shenanigans at the very beginning, so
Okay, so with that, I think there's nothing left to say except bye.
bye, have a good week.